You will learn the inner working of the FM synthesis by analyzing the famous FullTines patch. Part 2 will cover envelope generator, keyboard rate scaling, output level, and key velocity sensitivity. We will look into envelope generator in detail. Press buttons 21 and 22 and use operator select to check an envelope for each operator. You can pause here and spend a few minutes going through the DX7 envelope generator. The table shown here is a summary of envelope data. You can quickly glance at this table and see that operators 3 and 5 have the same envelope. Operators 4 and 6 have a similar envelope. Overall, envelopes are very similar. They have fast attack, reaching maximum quickly. They have a medium to slow decay at rate 2 with higher decay level at level 2. All envelopes slowly decay at rate 3 and reaches to level 3, which is 0. Except for operator 6, when a key is released, it has medium to fast rate 4, which reaches to 0 at level 4. So there is no sustained sound after key release. Operator 6 has level 4 of 31. As you noticed, towers 2 and 3 have the same envelope, except for operator 6, level 4, which is 31. We can graphically represent the envelopes for better understanding. For operators 1 and 2, their envelopes have fast attack at maximum level. They have slow to medium decay at rate 2 and rate 3. Note that level 2 is set to 75, so this creates a prominent attack tone from level 1, which is 99, to level 2, which is 75. The main decay is controlled by rate 3, which is 25 to 35, as level 3 is set at 0, slowly decaying to level 3. For operators 3, 4, and 5, their envelopes are very similar. It has fast attack at maximum level. Also, level 2 is set at 95, giving a minimum attack tone. But rate 2 is set between 20 and 29, which is slow. Then rate 3 is set at 20, which is slow again. As level 3 is set to 0, the main decay is controlled by rate 3, which is slowly decaying to level 3. For operator 6, its envelope has fast attack with a maximum level. It has slow decay at rate 2 and level 2 is set at 95. This is to have a minimum amount of attack tone. It has slow decay to level 3, which is 0. Then it moves at medium speed to level 4 as rate 4 is set at 50. Level 4 is set at 31, so there is a sustained tone after a key release. Now, we will look into other priority parameters. Press buttons 26, 27, and 28 and use operator select to go through each operator. Keyboard rate scaling determines how fast an envelope moves from rate 1 to rate 4 based on a key position. All operators are set between 3 and 4, which is a medium level, so there is some shortening of envelopes at higher notes. Output level determines the level of modulation for modulators and volumes for carriers. All operators seems to have enough output level. as operator 2 is set at 80, you hear plenty of the main metallic tone generated by operator 2. Key velocity sensitivity controls the amount of volume for carriers and modulation for modulators based on the speed of a key pressed. Note that the carrier operators 1 and 3 are set between 3 and 4, but operator 5 is set at 1. So there is an inconsistency in setting up key velocity sensitivity. Let's revise what we've learned so far. The famous DX7 FullTines uses algorithm 5, which has 3 independent towers. Tower 1 is used for producing the main metallic tone. Towers 2 and 3 are detuned to give a chorusing effect. Towers 2 and 3 have similar envelopes. Tower 1 is for the sharp metallic attack tone. Operator 6 has level 4 set at 31 for a key release tone. Keyboard rate scaling is applied at medium level for all operators. Output levels are adequate, producing enough metallic tone. Key velocity sensitivity is inconsistently applied. You can pause this video for self-learning tutorials. Turn operators 5 and 6 only. Select operator 5 and change its key velocity sensitivity from 1 to 7. How do these changes affect the overall tone? You can also check other parameters such as LFO and see how they are set. Note that some of those parameters have not been used for FullTines. If you need to revise, please do so before proceeding to the next tutorial session. Please don't forget to subscribe if you haven't done so yet. For the next tutorial, we will look into the sound design comparison with the famous E.Piano and FullTines.